Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to take a call to speak on Part 4 of this bill. And I want to speak particularly on clauses 97 and 105 of Part 4. Clause 97, as we know, allows the High Court to refer a question of tikanga to the Māori Appellate Court for its opinion or to obtain the advice of a pukenga. The concept of pukenga, of course, comes from the Māori Land Court and the Māori Appellate Court, where the court seeks the assistance of those experts who have experience and knowledge of tikanga Māori. And it really saddened me to hear the nature of the kōrero from the ACT Party around tikanga. One of the major achievements of the Māori Party, which we have secured in this bill, has been in ensuring that tikanga permeates the legislation. And in that way we see the value accorded to Māori customary values and practices being reflected right throughout. And I'm mindful of the challenge left by a former MP and esteemed Māori leader, Tā Apiranga Ngāta, in his much quoted words, e tipu e reo. In that passage, Tā Apirana encouraged Māori to grasp the tools of the Pākehā world while at the same time cherishing ngā taonga ao tūpuna Māori, the treasures of our ancestors. It was, if one likes, the notion of promoting excellence in both worlds. And I have to wonder whether the ACT Party has grasped the notion of living in a treaty-based nation, in which partnerships means to cherish the foundations of the two treaty partners, working in two worlds, Aotearoa New Zealand. A commitment to nationhood driven from the treaty would mean this House would never again be subjected to the cultural assault of tikanga being described in the terms of Alice in Wonderland. For the sake of generations to come, I want to make it explicitly clear that we in the Māori Party understand of tikanga as consistent with kaupapa Māori. Kaupapa such as kotahitanga, rangatiratanga, whanaungatanga. Tikanga are our practices, that which is tika, true and accurate. Tikanga are derived from kaupapa Māori, the foundation of Māori culture and the basis of Māori worldviews. Ironically, the reference to Alice was made during the kōrero we had on the preamble, a preamble which monumentally introduces for the first time in any public environment or resource management related legislation the kaupapa of manaakitanga and the tikanga that are derived from it. In Ngaitahu, for example, the concept of manaakitanga is that tikanga which tangata whenua practice towards manuhiri, enabled whalers from foreign shores to remain on the Takutai and set up whaling stations. The tikanga surrounding manaakitanga is such that the more hospitality which tangata whenua display, the more mana they demonstrably possesses. Ngaitahu has great mana, as we have seen with their response to recent events which have struck the people of their rohe, and so as many people of great mana have done throughout New Zealand's history, they gave without hesitation. Manaakitanga, as mana in action, only works when the system of reciprocity on which it is based is understood. So when this legislation states that it should be enacted to reflect the principle of manaakitanga, we are not entering a virtual rabbit hole of unknown qualities or quantities. We know exactly what it is that we seek, and that is to restore the balance of mana and to uphold tikanga. While this bill does not propose mana motahake, as some may wish to see, it does propose a relationship in keeping with those tikanga derived from the kaupapa of kāwanatanga and rangatiratanga. There is great mana in this. In order for the fruits of this exchange of mana to fully materialise, it is imperative that local and regional authorities step up to the mark in their exercise of kāwanatanga, giving mana to those expressions of rangatiratanga by the kaitiaki of our Takutai Moana, such as the planning documents. While a misguided few look to role models such as Alice, I know there are those amongst us who look to our own Pacific role models, figures such as Maui, who look beyond the horizon, using the wisdom of his ancestors with the boldness of his youth to seek change in the world. The other key clause that I want to refer to in Part 4 is that related to Clause 105. And this is an extremely significant clause which has attracted great interest from those who have taken the time to read the bill. I do have to say in passing that it is hard to tolerate some of the statements I heard in the public arena from people, unfortunately including some MPs, claiming that they are opposing the bill without having read it. Mr Chair.
I call Rahui Katanei.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I don't understand the logic that someone can be opposed to something that they don't actually know what it is they are opposing. And so I would just like to read from Clause 105 from the SOP number 207, which states in subclause 3, in the case of every application for a recognition order, it is presumed in the absence of proof to the contrary that a customary interest has not been extinguished. Not been extinguished. The burden of proof clause, that is clause 105, is a major initiative of this bill, and I have to say it is a major initiative brought about by the member from the North. The 2004 Act required Māori to prove extinguishment of customary title had not occurred. Proving something had not occurred over a 170-year period was a significant burden on Māori. The Takutai Moana bill now places that burden on the Crown where it should be. If the Crown cannot prove extinguishment, then customary title will be recognised, provided the other elements of the test are met. Subclause 2 of Clause 105 provides that for customary marine title, an applicant group must prove that the specified area is held in accordance with tikanga and has been used and occupied by the applicant group either from 1840 to the present day or from the time of a customary transfer to the present day. And subclause 3, as I've read out, provides that it is presumed in the absence of proof to the contrary that a customary interest has not been extinguished. The amendment is required as the government's intention regarding burden of proof was unclear, and the clause as redrafted is explicit that claimant groups must only prove the positive elements of the test. For example, the group has held the area or customary right has been exercised since 1840 in accordance with tikanga. This means the Crown is responsible for proving that the applicant group's use and occupation of the area has not been exclusive, or that there has been a substantial interruption to the group's occupation of the area, or that there has been extinguishment at law. The intention of Clause 105 is to make it clear where the burden of proof lies for the evidence relating to the test for protected customary rights and customary marine title. And I want to really highlight this initiative. And it is something which I believe establishes a very clear precedent for working in a way which tangata whenua and the Crown operate as treaty partners. Clause 105 is a very important issue. It picks up what the Court of Appeal said in the Ngāti Apa case, that the burden of extinguishment lies on the personal body that seeks to have it extinguished, in this case, the Crown. So the Crown has the burden of extinguishment. That is where it should lie, and the advice I have received from iwi is that it is a just and proper thing to do. Kia ora.
I call Calvin Davis.